welcome back to Light the Fuse. We're lighting fuses. We're getting through this epic journey, behind the scenes journey of the making of Ghost Protocol.
Yep. And the release. Now we're basically at the release.
Have we talked to more people involved with Ghost Protocol than any other entry?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
I mean, Brad Bird, Christopher McQuarrie, Robert Elswit, Paul Hirsch, Todd Vaziri, Tommy Harper. The list goes on. And if we're lucky, if all goes to plan,
A few more.
we may have a few more very soon.
Ooh, hello.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Press that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Yeah. You're going to want some of these. We're barreling towards our 100th episode.
We are.
With a swagger and a spring in our step.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to have something special. We're working on something. We'll see how it goes.
We'll tell you who to blame if it doesn't happen.
No. It'll be us.
It'll be us. It always falls on us.
Yes.
But we've made it through pre-production, production, and now we're getting into post-production. We're getting into the release.
We're in the middle of the release.
Yeah.
So what are we on? We're on the U.S. premiere, right?
Yeah.
We did the world premiere.
We did the world premiere.
So now here we go. It starts with you.
Oh, it starts with me. Okay. So December 21st, 2011. So this is after it's already been in theaters as the...
Well, I don't know if it's the day. This is just, it was reported in Variety. Variety did a whole report.
Okay. Variety on December 21st, 2011 said that, they had the New York premiere, and they said that it may have had the biggest red carpet plastic tent ever. Quote, the Versailles-sized behemoth outside the Ziegfeld extended into a lane on West 54th Street to include 3 rows of bleachers for fans so they could be stationed opposite the press. Cruise, as is now his tradition, posed for pics with those worshippers and signed their poster sheets. It's weird that the Variety is saying poster sheets, but the movie started 75 minutes late and was followed by a multi-tiered buffet party at nearby MoMA. Again, I think we were in New York on that day. We were not invited.
I get it that we couldn't go all the way to Dubai. We couldn't go to India. But New York isn't that big of a stretch.
I mean, your parents live pretty close to that. I feel like we could have
gotten
there.
Yeah. I know. You know, it's sad to think of I assume that they showed the movie at the Ziegfeld as the New York premiere. And now the Ziegfeld is gone.
It's gone.
It's closed. I think it's still there. I think the marquee or whatever is still there. I heard the Safdie brothers were interviewing, or Paul Thomas Anderson was interviewing the Safdie brothers, I think on the DGA podcast, and they were talking about the Ziegfeld, and they said that it's still there, but it's just it's not a theater anymore. It's not being used.
I saw 3 there.
You saw 3 what? Oh, you saw MI3?
MI3, yeah.
I hate you.
Yeah, I saw MI3 there. It was great.
Wow.
The last movie I saw there was The Master. They had the premiere for The Master in New York, and I went there. 70 millimeter. Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, wonderful.
I think the last thing I saw there maybe was Che. The Steven Soderbergh.
I saw Che there too.
He did the roadshow presentation of Che, and that was the movie that broke Soderbergh's heart. And was like, I'm not going to make those kind of movies anymore. I'm just going to make fun stuff.
Which I'm totally behind.
Yeah.
But it was a great theater.
Yeah, sad. Anyway, on the red carpet, the actors talked about their own personal impossible missions. Cruise said, just making movies. It's a dream come true. Something I never thought I'd get to do. Jeremy Renner said, I don't think anything's impossible. There are things that are difficult to manage, like the amazing opportunity that's come my way, but it's fun. Simon Pegg said, this red carpet to a degree. This press tour has been immense. Michael Nyqvist said, riding a bike. I remember when I was 6, I tried for many years. That was in Stockholm. Michael Nyqvist, unfortunately, has passed away. Yeah. Rest in peace, but that's pretty great. I guess he never learned how to ride a bike. Meanwhile, Brad Bird said, surviving this film.
I feel like he says that on every film. Yeah.
I think he was put through the ringer on this one. And all of them, as movies are hard. Simon Pegg was asked by New York Magazine at the premiere, do you wish you got to do stunts for the movie like Tom Cruise did? Pegg replied, no, I think it was one of the few times in my adult life that I thought, thank God I'm not Tom Cruise.
That is great.
Yeah.
JJ said about the film, it's an unabashed, awesome, fun spy movie. It completely embraces the spirit of what you would hope a Mission Impossible movie would be. which is nice of him to say. He just made one, and he wasn't around for this one.
And I don't know if that was I don't think that was at the premiere. I think that was just in the press tour. So I'm not sure if he was at the premiere or not.
And Cruise had this to say, "This was the most ambitious Mission Impossible I've ever done in terms of the amount of characters, the location, the scope. It was really realized with Brad Bird. It went beyond the ideas that I was exploring. Really, I loved every minute of it." And what's very interesting about this quote is all the stuff about the pre-production, how they were trying to make it smaller. They were not trying to not have
and now we've come this
Cruise,
way.
and now,
Do you think you would still feel that way? I feel like it still was that way until Fallout.
Probably.
I think Fallout now has surpassed that in terms of scope, with him talking about it being the most ambitious. All right, so let's talk about the release.
All right.
According to Variety, on December 15th, 2011, Paramount's logo to commemorate their 100th anniversary was first used in front of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. That would have been a useful tidbit for our commentary on Patreon.
I mean...
oops. Do you think that version of the logo still appears at the front of the movie?
I don't know. I watched it yesterday, and I can't remember.
Did it have a 100th anniversary logo?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Anyway, the new logo was also given new music, which was composed by Michael Giacchino.
Cool.
So we should pull out the Blu-ray and check it out and see if it's still on there. If it's the 100th anniversary logo and you hear some new music, that's Giacchino's music, and it was the first time the logo was ever used. Also, according to IMDb trivia, each movie in the Mission Impossible series has used a different Paramount logo. Is that true?
What?
At least up to this point. Maybe only up to this point?
I mean, yeah, maybe, because it was Viacom at one point. It was, wow, that's crazy.
It makes me want to just pull up the movies and watch each of the logos and see.
Oh, God.
That might have to be a little homework assignment. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
You'll leave that one up to me, I'm sure.
The tagline for this movie was, "No plan, no backup, no choice." And if you want to hear all about the posters and trailers, check out our episodes with Kendra James, which we talk about the marketing for the movie. Those are episodes 49 and 50. And I just hung out with Kendra a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah, we took the dogs to the dog park.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she's got a very cute new dog.
I love her Instagrams and everything about the dog. I'm obsessed with
Amy,
that dog. It looks so cute.
So cute.
And check out those episodes where we talk to Kendra about, we talk about the marketing for all 6 movies, and we go through, have trailer clips. We actually have audio clips on the show in that one.
Oh, wow.
Don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah. That's rare for us.
Yeah, we don't put that much work into these. This also makes me want you to bug Adam Pally to be on the show.
Oh, yeah?
Thinking about all the hoods up in these. In these posters.
This is the joke in the show he was on, Happy Endings. Yeah. They initiated Ghost Protocol in one episode, right? And they would put the hoods up.
So
we should get Adam on the show. I think he's living in New York now, so we have to see.
He has another show or something, right?
He's got a new sitcom that's just come out. That I forget what it's called. I feel bad. But it's with Fran Drescher, and
it's called like Schooled or something.
Or Indebted, or
we
need to come up and find the name of this show. I feel really bad. And it's also I love the actress who's in it as well. Other than Fran Drescher, the one who plays Adam's wife it's Abby Elliott, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it premieres on February. Oh, Steven Weber's in it, too.
Yeah. Steven Weber, Fran Drescher, Abby Elliott, Adam Pally, Indebted on NBC.
Starts on February 6th, then.
And if you, that show is probably already out by now. And if you like that show by chance already, you should check out Night Owls, my movie. It's on Amazon Prime, starring Adam Pally and Rosa Salazar. I'm just going to do a little promotion for myself.
Are you going to direct any of these episodes?
Probably not. Okay. It's multicam, sitcom. I've never done that.
Well, why don't you do it now?
It's a totally different skill set.
Are you scared?
I'm scared.
Okay.
Totally terrified.
I think you could do it.
It's different. It's a totally different medium, kind of.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he's never done a multicam sitcom before, because Happy Endings was single cam. Mm-hmm. We're on a real tangent here.
I just want him on the show.
We can get. I will work on getting Adam on the show.
Okay.
Now, back to where we were. In its 425 theater opening weekend, the movie grossed $13 million, setting the record of the highest grossing opening weekend in less than 600 theaters. That was for the exclusive 5-day opening weekend that was in IMAX theaters only.
Figuring out the numbers on this
was tough?
Tough. Yeah. Partially because of that weird opening thing.
Right. So it would eventually play in 3,555 screens, which is fewer screens than Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah. Wasn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So Mission Impossible 2 is still ultimately, I think, made more money but it was on more
screens.
Yeah. So opening weekend was a 12.8 million. The total domestic haul was 209.4 million. International was 485.3 million for a total gross of 694.7 million. At the time, it was the second most successful film in the franchise after Mission Impossible 2, but after the release of Mission Impossible Fallout, it has slipped to the third place in the franchise. It outperformed Mission Impossible 3 considerably. We talked about how that was sort of a ding to the franchise.
Yeah.
It didn't really make that much money worldwide, and it outperformed the film that followed it, which is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is really interesting that...
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. It's interesting that it made that much more...
Yeah.
I mean, the one on either side.
Like, it came at just the right time, I feel like.
Yes.
Is all that stuff that we talked about in the build-up in our previous episodes of this making of. People were nervous about Cruise. Is his star power over? And then it just came, and it was the right movie at the right time, and the movie just fucking rules. So that's why I think that's really the main thing.
Yeah.
That's why the movie did so well, because it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just such a cool. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
We're here because it did well.
Yes.
Because if it didn't, I think Cruise would be out.
Yeah, I think so too.
So anyway, now let's talk about the critical reception. Currently, Ghost Protocol has a score of 73 on Metacritic and a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, with a 76% audience score. How does that compare to the other movies? I'm curious.
I don't know.
I feel like... Because we've talked about the critical reaction in each of these making-ofs, and it's never really been that strong up to this point. I feel like it was kind of the strongest. The first movie currently on Rotten Tomatoes has a 63% with a 71% audience score.
That's horseshit.
The second movie has a 57% critics thing with 43% audience score.
And it's the most successful one. Well, until
when I dug up and looked at reviews and stuff of the second movie, it was like mostly people were saying good things about the movie at the time.
Right.
Now Rotten Tomatoes, I'm sure, encounters a lot of newer reviews people are posting on websites and stuff. At the time, the movie people were like, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. And it was like very much of its time, people were liking it.
Stupid.
Come on, we like MI2.
We like it. We don't love it.
Mission Impossible 3 has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 69% audience score. So this being a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes was significantly higher.
And the audience score was higher too.
But I don't really love Rotten Tomatoes. I also feel like there were many more over time. So nowadays, it just evolves. I feel like it's hard to...
Rotten Tomatoes is bad. I don't care who knows it. It's bad.
I do prefer Metacritic, and even so, it's better just to find the critics that you like and read their work. But yeah, so Manohla Dargis of the New York Times said... That's partly because of Mr. Bird, who has given the movie a self-aware levity that's intended to clear away the bummer blues of the last mission 5 years ago. So she thinks it was a mistake in MI3 to saddle Ethan with a wife, and thought the torture scenes made that movie too oppressively dark. She also has this sentence about Ghost Protocol, which is so profoundly wrong. It was also partly shot in IMAX, which really doesn't enhance anything. What? Manohla! She likes the movie but doesn't love it. I usually love Manohla, and I love her writings usually.
Yeah.
But you can't see eye to eye 100% with every critic and what you like. And sorry, Manohla, but you're dead wrong.
So Owen Gleiberman loved it. He was at Entertainment Weekly. He wrote a rave, and then it wound up on his top 10 for 2011. I think the top 10 list came out before his review even. And so his top 10 entry read, exciting and amazing at the same time. In his debut as a live-action filmmaker, the animation wizard Brad Bird creates scenes so audacious, a break-in at the Kremlin staged like a magic trick. How the hell did they film that? Crawl across the tallest building in the world. A nuclear countdown that redefines down to the minute, that they get you moving around in your seat and laughing at your own susceptibility. Tom Cruise, in his fourth turn as IMF agent Ethan Hunt, has a pulsating presence, a dynamic mind-body fusion. This is not only the best entry in the Mission Impossible series, but the most vibrant thriller since the Bourne films and Casino Royale. In an action ride culture that offers so much fake adrenaline, it's cathartic to encounter the real thing.
Wow.
I love it.
I love that review.
Yeah.
I'm not as always on the same page though in Gleiberman, but holy cow, that's a great review. I actually love the way he talks about the mind-body fusion of Cruise and like how it was like just the perfect. I mean, it really was just like he perfectly embodied Ethan Hunt in just the right way, at just the right time in his career, and this movie just rules. The movie also appeared on the top 10 list of the Oregonian's Mike Russell at number 10. The playlists at the time, Drew Taylor. You had it at number 7.
It would have been
back then.
It probably would have been number 1. I don't even remember what came out that year, but
I'm curious to revisit your lists.
I think my list was good, but
I want to go back and look at that. So you had it number 7. Okay, all right.
You know why? I think is I'd already written most of my list, and that came in so late that I had to slot it in. Mm-hmm. I remember I deleted Rango was the casualty of that one. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then also Slash Films' David Chen had it at number 7. David Chen is a big fan of the Mission Impossible series. We have seen on Twitter. He talks a lot about it. We should try to get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know him at all?
I don't, but I know Peter at Slash Films, so I could probably
Is David Chen, he's based in like Seattle or something,
yeah,
right?
But he's down here a lot.
All right, so not everyone loved the movie. Richard Corliss from Time said, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is no Fast Five. Come on, fucking Richard Corliss. And Bird's knowing verve can't camouflage the downtime between action scenes.
Yes,
all right,
when
Richard
I think
Corliss.
about this movie, I think about all the downtime. Yeah.
Come on,
Richard Corliss, you mother. Also, Tom Huddleston, not Tom Hiddleston, from Time Out London said, Ghost Protocol plays it strictly by the book. The characters are bland, the plot is overfamiliar, and the action sequence are resolutely old school. But animator Bird relishes the chance to play with real people. The central suspense sequence in which Hunt scales Dubai's Burj Khalifa one-handed is dizzyingly effective, particularly in IMAX, and the pace rarely slows.
All right.
So it's like people are like kind of like meh, but some of them liked it. I don't know if
this movie came out, I feel like critics have, the movie business has changed in the last 10 years.
Correct.
Would you agree?
I agree. Yes, as someone who has to watch all of them.
I think critics have adjusted as well because this was like a popcorn movie at the time. And now it's like all popcorn movies.
Yes.
You know, like the movies like Michael Clayton or something don't come out as like a big studio movie anymore. They're more like smaller things that you have to seek out, like Parasite.
Right.
And I think nowadays critics are kinder to popcorn movies that are fucking great like this. I feel like if this movie came out today, these critics would be not nitpicking as much. They'd be like, this fucking's great. This movie's
I mean,
great.
I don't know. I mean, even at the time, I felt like it was an outlier and a cut above. But
yeah.
You and I left that theater and we were like so ridiculously jazzed.
Yeah. And then we had, didn't we go to there was a Brad Bird Q&A at Lincoln Center.
Yes.
Later that day where he was showing clips from his career and talking about it.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
That was a great day. Just
and I think
all Brad Bird all the time.
I think that was also the day that afterwards we went up to him and you said to him, you've had this theory for years about Ratatouille.
Right.
And what Ratatouille is actually about.
Yes.
That there's a subtext to Ratatouille.
Yeah.
And that it's all actually about what happened with Disney.
Yes.
With, is it Michael Eisner? And what he was doing with the
direct-to-video
sequels
yeah.
is the same thing as Ian Holmes' chef packaging all the chef's food and microwave stuff. And it was like, it's all like a thinly veiled thing. And the what is it, Linguini? He is...
he's Roy.
He's Roy Disney.
Yeah.
Who is family legacy but doesn't really have the same creative chops.
Yes.
And that Remy is
Pixar.
Pixar in some way. Anyway, so... Amazing thing. You brought it up to Brad Bird that day.
Yes.
And he was like, well, I wouldn't want anyone to read into my movie.
It was a bit thinly veiled.
He seemed like he was saying...
And earlier that morning, I did an interview with him in your parents' living room on the phone.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
That was quite a day.
It was a good day. Yeah, it was a really fun day.
Wow. And now we're here doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in general, though, it seems like up to this point, though, it seems like this movie was the best critical reaction of the movies. And now I think this has been surpassed probably by maybe Rogue Nation, but definitely Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout, I think, is universally loved by everybody. But I do think that if Fallout came out like 20 years ago, critics would have been snootier about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, too, because it's like these movies have to come out when they come out because the technology has to be at the level that they can actually pull off these things.
Yeah.
I just feel like Ghost Protocol is still very much ahead of its time. I mean, it's better than 95% of the things out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can tell Bird was really invested in character. And as much as I think 3 maybe set up this phase, but Ghost Protocol really set the tone. I mean, the impact on the franchise cannot be overstated, I don't think. Humor and introducing humor and...
Right.
You know,
yeah, as we talk about a lot, that the way that Ethan Hunt reacts to danger and everything now in a more humorous way, and the ridiculous sort of a self-awareness about Ethan Hunt's legend, like, is started with this one.
Right. I love it.
All right, so we got some random tidbits.
Bring it on.
We get to our random tidbits section. So this is the first movie in the series that we know of that used a code name from the Zodiac calendar or whatever. This one was called Aries.
Right.
And the title at one point was going to be Project Aries. Do they refer to it as Project Aries in the movie?
No, I mean, that might be something, again, from that opening scene, maybe with Hendrix talking to the people. Right. Not really the people, to himself, but...
I wonder, yeah. I want to, like, watch the movie again with an ear out to hear if they ever say Project Aries.
Yeah.
The bad guys. I know that we've seen a script of this that has Aries as the title, but that was just a code name, the title. So, anyway, that's fun.
Thank you, Charles. The code Ethan uses at the payphone to get his latest mission is Tom Cruise's birthday, 7/3/62. Well, now we gotta give him something for his birthday. Give him a pie.
He gives out that amazing, what is it, like a coconut pie or something? He has some special thing that he gives to everybody. Cake.
He's been giving people cupcake versions of it for Christmas. Yeah. If you don't have...
Can we get on that list?
If you're not on the top list, then you're on the mid list and you get the smaller version.
You get the smaller version.
Yeah.
I'll take the cupcake.
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
Or even a cookie.
Yeah.
If I can get on the third tier list with Cruise, and he can send me the little cookie version.
You just have a sweet tooth.
I do. I eat dark chocolate Kit Kats all the time.
We shouldn't say this person's name, but...
I've seen the box
yeah.
that Tom Cruise sends the cupcake
That's the smaller one, yeah.
Oh my God. I want that. Okay, well, someday we'll get it, or we'll steal it from somebody else. All right, so Scuba Luther continues in this movie. Scuba Luther is back in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Yes. So he is introduced in MI3.
We don't see him doing it.
He's doing the scuba work at the Vatican in Mission Impossible 3. In this one, he says, at the end of the movie, in his very short cameo, he says, I've been at the bottom of the San Francisco Bay or whatever, cleaning up the parts from the dismantled bomb.
Yeah.
So he was doing his scuba work.
Yeah.
So Scuba Luther continues in this movie, and I just have to call it out and say that I appreciate it. And I'm still disappointed that he didn't do any of the scuba work in Fallout, but I hold on to the idea that Luther trained Benji in the scuba life.
The trade, yeah. It's a calling, I feel like.
He's the scuba specialist.
Yeah. So here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Ethan uses the call sign Alpha 113, and A113 appears on Hanaway's ring. You can spot that one pretty easily.
Yeah.
A113 is a frequent in-joke and Easter egg appearing in films produced by Pixar, as well as the films created by the alumni of the California Institute of the Arts, based on one of the room numbers for the character animation BFA program. And this was the room that basically every major animator of the past 25 years has been in. This is the Brad Bird, Ron Clements, John Musker, Henry Selick room.
Also Tim Burton.
Right? Yes,
he was there at the same time.
And director Brad Bird is both a CalArts alumnus and a Pixar movie director. And he has worked in A113 reference into every one of his feature films, as well as some of his television work. Todd told us that he snuck in some other A113 references to honor Bird. And I think Bird's production company on Tomorrowland was called A113 Productions.
That's awesome.
He's just putting it out there now.
You know, I originally wanted to go to CalArts.
And?
I visited, and it was awesome, and I wanted to go.
Did you apply?
I did. I got in.
You said no.
My parents didn't want me to go to an art school.
That does not surprise me.
So I went to USC. But in the end, I was definitely better suited for USC. USC was the place to go for me. For sure, and I met so many of my people who I work with on everything at USC, and it was awesome.
And you'd be like,
but I was a big fan of CalArts.
I don't have any football teams to root for at CalArts.
It's true.
That would be you.
Yeah.
If you had gone to CalArts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big college football fan.
I know.
So now I'm a big USC fan, just like I was born in Nebraska, so I'm a Nebraska fan.
You're just a fan.
I'm a fan. Hey, what are you? You're a Spurs fan.
A Spurs
That's
fan.
your one thing.
Yeah.
You like basketball.
I do.
How are the Spurs this year?
Not great. We're still smarting from the loss of Kawhi. But I'm going by the time this airs, I will have gone to a Spurs game here.
Right.
Clippers game. And so I get to
He went to the Clippers, right?
Yes, I get to boo Kawhi and support the Spurs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually going to go to a Lakers game soon.
They're so expensive now. It's
I know,
all-stars.
we've got the in. My writing partner and I worked on a project relating to the Lakers.
Oh, okay.
There's a documentary that's getting made, and
is that coming out?
I don't know. Not yet. They're just getting a director signed on. So
are they using your script?
We will see if we just did outlines for
okay.
them. So we'll see if they will use if the new director wants to keep us on or not. Either way, we're going to a Lakers game. That's all I care about.
Do you get it free?
Yeah, they're going to take us to a game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool. So there's an exclusive bonus disc that you have for Ghost Protocol, and you had shown me there's some cool menu screen, right?
I don't
Do you remember
this.
There's a menu screen. I love that you have the disc, and this made more of an impression on me because you sent me a video of it or something, and I was so excited. It's like him running along in a dust storm.
Oh,
and it's like it repeats.
Okay,
and it's this really cool.
Yeah,
menu
it's
screen.
behind the scenes.
I feel like we should do a video of it.
Yeah,
and
we'll
should
put
post
it out. Yeah,
because people.
It's really cool.
I don't think it's possible to get this bonus disc, and it's a really fun.
I love
thing.
that. Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah.
If you can track that down, get it.
I want to look for it.
I have it here somewhere.
I hate you.
So according to IMDb trivia, which is notoriously unreliable, the body count is 42.
Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
42? Yeah.
Here's the thing. You gotta think that some people were in the Kremlin when that blew up.
Oh, that's a big body count.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like security personnel and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That sounds maybe low. But I also don't. I'm trying to think of who else dies. I'm sure some people died during the prison riot too.
Right.
So, listen.
Well, Tom Wilkinson, the driver in the car, and the guy that they used to get the bomb thing going. The guy with the family. Poor guy. I always feel so bad for him when he goes.
And Hendrix is goon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I'd love to see a roundup of the whole series. What is the body count in each movie?
Yeah, I think
two.
Two is the.
I'm sure 2 has the most.
Yeah. This is you.
All right, so from that older interview you had with Bird, I think it was with Movie Phone. You brought up that you have a Mission Impossible podcast. This is before we interviewed him.
Yes.
And he said about the movie, that was a deep dive, that one. It was being thrown into the deep end for my first live action film. It wasn't like my dinner with Andre. I love that. And then you brought up how he's been talking about how he wanted to do 6 things with his Mission Impossible movie, but only got to do 5. And you ask him specifically what was the 6th thing. And we've brought this up on the show a lot. And I wanted to bring this quote up because he gives a little hint. He says, "Oh, I always get asked that. I'm not going to tell you because I like the idea so much I might use it in something else. It wasn't that they didn't want to do it, there was just no place for it. I thought there would be a place for it. I will say it also took place in a bathroom. They didn't do what I wanted to do, but it did take place in a bathroom."
Interesting. So this bathroom fight or something.
Spy thing or a bathroom fight like Fallout or I don't know what, but...
So I was keeping track of Brad Bird's hats. I knew you would love this.
Great segue.
I knew you would love this.
Great segue.
Well, this is something I feel like you would appreciate.
Yes, because we have the 4 dots.
We have the 4 dots.
Yeah. Thank you to Seth Worley who gave us that hat.
Yes.
We cherish that hat.
We cherish. Neither of us is wearing it.
No, but we want to get a nice glass case for it. Put it up in the.
With a spotlight.
Yeah, of course.
It'll be temperature control.
So you tracked his hats through the production.
I did.
Okay.
So first one is the Pixar hat with the eye. In Pixar being the Incredibles eye, which I have the follow up to that hat with the 2 eyes,
the double eye, Incredibles 2.
Yeah. So CalArts hat. So if only you had gone, you would really know this hat pretty well. A Panavision hat.
Okay.
Which he wears a lot during the. It's funny because you can look to like when he's shooting. It'll be different hats. Started out with the Pixar hat. It goes on.
Is he always wearing a hat? Is there any time that he's not wearing a hat?
Yeah, there's times. I mean, he did not wear a hat on the Burj because it would have gotten sucked off and it would have landed several.
Well, I saw him wearing a helmet in some scenes too, like when they're shooting the parking garage, the automated parking garage.
Everyone was wearing a helmet. Yeah. And then the MI 4 dots logo, which is
that we love.
That's an amazing logo.
I love that hat. And it's got a little bad
We might
robot,
be talking to the
robot.
guy who designed that logo, right?
Really?
Weren't we communicating with him?
The guy who designed which logo?
The MI 4 dots logo.
Oh, I don't know. Did you talk to him?
I thought it was on Twitter or something.
Oh,
Go look in your inbox.
Okay, we need to look at that. Yeah, and it's got a little bad robot on the back of the hat too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We cherish that thing.
We do.
Anyway, so we've come to the end. That's it.
That's it.
We've run out of random tidbits.
We're actually good on time. So
good.
we just need to cite our sources.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we pulled a lot of newspapers and the trade magazines, and other things I pulled at the Margaret Herrick Library. That was a major source for us, and we cited them along the way. There's a Yahoo article from 2015 that's the 50 impossibly awesome facts, I think, about the Mission Impossible franchise. There's the Ghost Protocol shooting diary by David James that you can buy on Amazon, and that's a good thing. I need to buy that thing. The
binding isn't great.
The binding isn't great. Okay.
But I'm telling you that my book will be much better.
But we got a lot of stuff from that book.
We did, yeah.
I think that's why this is a 4-parter, because of this book.
Yeah.
It gave us a lot of good stuff. So IMDb trivia is some of the stuff, a few of the things, not much. And then, of course, the many interviews we've done on this show informed everything that we learned as well.
And that deluxe edition Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, your bonus disc, of course. So, yeah, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So, any thoughts in summary?
Still the light of my life, really. It really is amazing.
It's so good.
It's kind of charming in the wake of Fallout. Fallout is so big and so oppressive. This is like a little jaunt.
Well, and it's so personal and emotional in Fallout. And this is more of like a fun...
This is a gay romp.
Team, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a team fun thing. And, it feels so much more innocent now.
It does. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's so great.
If it's not clear, I worship Brad Bird, and by the amount of interviews that I've done with him over the years, it's always a great joy to talk to him, and us talking to him for that long was that was a thrill. One of the highlights. Yeah.
And we are going to fight our asses off to get Ghost Protocol in IMAX however we can.
Yes.
When the next movies come out.
Yes.
Try to get Ghost Protocol and Fallout in particular in IMAX. Paramount should do the marathon in IMAX is what really should happen. I don't know. We're going to try. We're going to
try to do a lot of things leading up. And I've already talked to Mo about it, and I think we're both optimistic about doing
Mo at Mondo?
Yeah, selling records there.
Oh.
Yes. It could be a whole thing.
That would be incredible.
Yes.
So, as always, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/LightTheFuse.
Yeah.
Sign up for the bonus content. You'll get our bonus episodes. We have bonus minutes of interviews. We have bonus interviews altogether. We've got, all kinds of stuff in there. Our commentaries. Yep. We're doing bonus episodes about any casting announcements and other things that come up. All kinds of great stuff. So, and there's going to be more things in there by now, because this is a few weeks from now that this is going to come out. So it's great stuff. We really highly recommend you do it. If you can't spare the money, then you can always just rate, review, subscribe.
Yeah.
Or if you only want to spend a couple bucks once, you can go to our TeePublic page, which is linked from our website, LightTheFusePodcast.com, in the merch section. You can buy a shirt or a sticker.
Yes.
Or a mug or all kinds of things. A baby onesie.
Yeah. Some dog things on there.
Tote bag.
Yeah.
Magnets. They have magnets now and pins.
Yeah.
So I've got one of those. They're good.
Good.
Yeah. I hope you do that stuff for us. And if not, just review, spread the word.
Yeah.
And I hope are we at 100 ratings yet?
We better be.
You better go look at that and give us our 100th rating.
The future versions of us will be very disappointed if it's up there.
And we will be seeing you very soon. We've got some awesome names coming up that you're going to be excited about.
2020 is going to be a big year.
It's going to be really great.
Yeah.
So, and the 100th episode coming up as well. You don't want to miss it. This episode is brought to you by Jeremy Dillon and was mixed by Luke Burson. And we thank you all so much for keeping this alive. We're excited to keep going and get to 100 and beyond.
Yes.
You're going to see some awesome stuff this year.
Bye.
Thanks
Thanks again for listening, everyone. And before we go, another mission, should you choose to accept it. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And remember that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at LightTheFusePod and email us questions or comments at lightthefusepodcasts@gmail.com. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.